So to me, like this podcast is like me as a guest. So it's like me hanging out in your world. If we were to have like a real crossover, I guess it would be like me, I guess trying to like convince you that not everything's terrible.
Oh, that would be so good.
We should make a new one called Same Team, y'all, and it's all about Elliot shooting Stevo when we're on the same team.
It's same team, y'all, with a question mark.
Same team, y'all? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yes. I like that.
All right. Everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of Rather Be Playing, the podcast where we talk about how we'd rather be playing games than
changing some shitty diapers.
I'm Josh.
I'm Elliot.
And I'm Stevo. Well, and who the hell was that? I heard a voice I don't recognize.
Yeah. Hey,
you
guys.
want to do what?
Who I think it is?
Hey, guys, my name's Eric.
Eric, what the hell are you doing here? Where are you from?
I snuck onto your podcast. I've been living in your
You're on the wrong podcast.
I've been living in your attic for the past week.
That's what that was.
It was me the whole time.
So everybody, we've got Eric Variz here from the Same Team Y'all podcast.
Hey, guys.
We've joined up with them a little bit, invited him on so he could, one, pimp his podcast, and two, because he likes to play games as well. That sad bastard.
I'm a big fan of your cast, actually. I think you guys do some good work, and I am honored that you guys asked me on. And
no flattery on this
guys,
cast. We won't have it.
In real life, you guys are even more beautiful than I ever thought you would be.
You've met me before, Eric. Damn it.
Somehow you got even more beautiful after doing the podcast.
It's the video filter I've got going on. That's
it's that special podcast glow.
The Brad Pitt.
So tell us about these diapers, Eric.
Yeah. For the record, I'm a dad.
Tell us.
I'm not just into weird like diaper stuff.
You're a dad? We are not dads.
Yeah, so this whole time the premise of your podcast is that you guys are too busy to play games. Like you'll rather be playing. I assumed you were all dads this whole time up until like a month ago.
That's a logical train of thought.
It is.
That's what I thought.
And now I feel like
we just have full-time jobs.
Well,
but now I feel like that's not enough. I feel like
you gotta have a baby too, Elliot.
We should have no trouble playing games.
I mean, I just want to say, if you decide to never have children, that's perfectly fine. But if you ever do, like if you think you don't have time for games now, I was literally talking about why I love my Switch because I can play on the toilet. So
yes.
The Switch.
And by the way, can I stick up for the baby list here?
Yeah.
Okay, we may not be dads, but I've changed a diaper or two in my time. I've got nephews and nieces, you know?
Oh, well, good for you.
I've dug in when I've had to.
First diaper I ever changed was my daughter's. I never knew. So good for you, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never changed one.
Me neither. All my nephews and nieces are at least 7 years old, and I've got like 9 nieces and nephews. So.
If you ever want to hang out, Elliot, you can change my baby's diaper anytime you want. I'll talk you through it. It'd be like defusing a bomb. I'll talk you right through it.
Yeah. It could be like a video game. Maybe he'd get the same satisfaction. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good. There'll be a quick time.
Keep talking and no one explodes.
A quick time event.
I don't even want to know what the fail state on that is.
It's shit in your face.
Man, that HD rumble though, man.
Oh God! All right, so Eric, you are part of the Same Team Y'all podcast. I know it's not necessarily video game related, but I thought it was good enough. You know, that it's something that everybody should experience at some point. It's
an excellent podcast.
It is a great podcast, and just. This is your time right here. Give us your spiel. What is Same Team Y'all and why is it awesome?
Yeah, Same Team Y'all is a podcast that I run with my friend Tess. We're 2 librarians, and we basically talk about things that we're loving, tales from the library, and important life lessons along the way. We decided to come up with the podcast just because if you go to the internet, it sounds like everything in the world is garbage, and we're trying to make the world a little bit better. Yep. So that's about it. But I'm so glad you guys asked me on here because I am actually a big gamer, but Tess isn't, so we can't really talk about video games too often on my cast. So
Yeah, we can be your outlet. Bring it.
Yeah.
And for the record, I know Tess from high school, which is kind of how this kind of all got started.
Link. Okay.
You got it.
And then the other thing is that Stevo, Elliot, and I are all a bunch of cynical bastards. So Eric's this nice counterbalance to the fact that we hate everything, life sucks, and Eric's here to tell us that, it's really not that bad. You guys are playing Zelda. It's awesome.
True.
On the toilet.
On the toilet, yes. Okay, so I've been listening to the same team y'all for a while now. I mean, ever since you guys started. You guys started only like maybe a month before we did, really.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for a while. And you guys started actually a new podcast too regarding Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
right?
we do another podcast called Same Peaks Y'all, mostly because Tess loves Twin Peaks so much, but I guess she didn't have enough friends that watched it. So she basically asked me to just start watching it with her. So the deal with that show is we go through Twin Peaks, starting with the very first episode, like way back in the 90s. She's rewatching them and I'm watching them for the first time. So, which means every time I get to make theories and predictions, she basically stares at me with these all-knowing eyes the entire time because she's watched it all, So, but it's a good show. I actually like Twin Peaks, but I had never watched it before, so pretty decent.
Yeah,
So,
has anyone on here watched it? I've got through the first season. Myself and my girlfriend Nisha watched the first season. But I don't know, somehow we just didn't pick up the second. I'm sure at some point we'll go back to it, and especially because is the newest season that was just released, is it good? Is it like
I'll tell you,
living up to the hype?
I don't know. And to be honest, I mean Tess promised, she made me swear on the heart of a dove not to look up any spoilers for like the next, I guess, couple years or so, or a dove will come and pick my eyes out. So I'm not allowed to discuss spoilers. So
yeah, Twin Peaks sounds like a show I would really like, but I started watching the pilot one day and it was just the slowest goddamn pilot
it's different.
I've ever. I know it's not.
It's a slow burn, but
it is. But it's one of those things where I was like, I just need to pound my way through. I need to push through that initial pilot episode where I'm just like, oh my god,
is toilet talk again?
You have to just push right through it.
I just need to push through.
And then you got to just flush that episode.
Wait, can I watch Twin Peaks on my Switch?
Not yet.
Soon.
No, not yet.
One day whenever we have Netflix on the Switch, then you can.
It's true.
Soon.
So the last thing we kind of mentioned this last episode is coming up. We've got Lexicon.
Yep.
And I know you're one of the organizers, or the main organizer. I'm not actually entirely sure how that is.
Yeah, it actually started. So, guys, if I haven't mentioned already, I'm a librarian for the St. Mary's County Library System. And one day we were sitting around, and we someone asked, like, could we do a Comic-Con? Like, we saw some other library system was doing it, and they put me in charge of it, and then I just willed it into existence. So this will be like our second year we've done it.
Wow.
And it's not, like I said earlier, it's not like Comic-Con. You have to garner your expectations because it's a public library system. But I mean, it's a tiny Comic-Con with actual comic book artists there and stuff like that. So
can you give us more like an overview, when, where, what?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if anyone lives in the Southern Maryland area, it's going to be at the Lexington Park Branch Library on October 7th, and it's 12 to 4 o'clock. We're going to have you guys there, right? We're going to have our podcast there. We're going to have a couple artists there, Dan Noakes, Carl Yonder, and Chris. I don't remember his last name because he just joined us like just a couple days ago. And there a couple local comic book artists are going to be there answering questions. And then we're going to have a Skype interview with Sophie Campbell, who's not super well known, but she does work in the industry. I actually have one of her books here. She actually wrote and drew a graphic novel called Shadow Eyes. And she's actually a contributing artist for Gem and the Holograms, like the current comic run, and Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
So,
oh, neat.
Yeah, she's legitimately a very cool person. So it's going to be cool to be able to talk to her. So.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool. Excellent.
And you guys.
Stevo and Elliot will be around. I will be not there because I love you guys, but Maryland is about 2,500 miles away from me.
We'll be manning the booth, holding down the fort. Yeah. I've got buttons coming in the mail that I ordered, and nice big banner.
Did you order? But you ordered buttons and a banner to make it official.
Yeah,
we are not like you, Eric. We do not have a button maker. So
I have to be honest. I kind of like, because I work at the library, I just had access to button makers, so I did kind of exploit my connections there. But I did have to buy a banner with my own cash. So.
It took me a second when I didn't notice the little -E on the end of your guys' tweet, and I was like, yeah, Tess seems like the person to have a button maker.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, it's Eric.
Is there anything else we should are you guys handing anything else out? This is our first
so what we've got, so this is our first time having a table too, right? Which, by the way, guys, get ready to see those listeners blowing up when you're at Lexington. I hope you guys are ready to quit your jobs because you're about to make that sweet podcasting money. At our table, we're basically just going to be handing out buttons for both casts, same team y'all and same team y'all. And we've got business cards, and we were thinking of doing a live cast there, but it's tough. I wanted to do it so bad, but I'm still the organizer of the event, so it's really hard for me to be there. So I'm hoping next year I can hand off the reins to another librarian, have them be the boss, so I can still spend time doing the cast. But we'll see.
Guys, we should do a raffle. We should do a raffle, guys.
You should. Yeah, that's a great idea. What are you going to...
Let's not announce any prizes now until we've thought this through.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
If you win, you get a date with Josh.
I was just about to say that!
Stole another joke.
Ladies or gentlemen, I'm married, but I'll go on a date with you. If you fly out to Seattle, I will buy your dinner.
That would be you win a date to someone that you have to fly to in Seattle.
Exactly. Isn't that
I would say the best part is that Josh won't actually be there, so we can say that he is promising anything that we want. We can say he's going to fly them out there and whatever, We'll even give his home address.
Yeah,
and phone number in case they need to get in contact, plan the flights.
It's not a bad idea to do a raffle, though, because we have, in our area, we had the Southern Maryland Comic-Con. It was at a local rescue department. It's not a huge one, but I had a table set up to promote the cast and Lexicon, and we had a raffle of I think it was a big Spider-Man omnibus that we were raffling, and it gets people to the table for sure.
Yeah.
So people like winning prizes.
I think it's a good idea. Okay.
Hmm.
So, well, guys, if you are around on October 7th down in Lexington Park, Maryland, feel free to stop on by. You get to see Ratherby playing as well as Same Team Y'all at the Lexington Park Library. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Come talk to us. We love meeting new people. We love talking about games, and we're going to dabble in the other nerdy stuff going on as well. I'm not a big comic book fan, but I don't know. Maybe I could be convinced. Maybe I could try out a few things.
It's books with pictures, Stevo. That's all it is.
That's my area.
Yeah, I forgot to mention too that at Lexicon there'll be a lot of prizes being given out too. We have a trivia contest where if you win each round, you get a ticket to the prize vault. So we get just a ton of prizes we put in this room, and there'll be a cosplay contest too, which to me you can't have a.
Stevo, Reginald Fluffytail, you got this.
Josh, that's only for special occasions.
I was gonna ask, are you guys coming in costume?
I was thinking about it.
What
were you thinking about, Elliot? He didn't tell us this, by the way.
What are you gonna be?
This was not discussed pre-recording. Elliot?
Go on.
We didn't rehearse this. I was just thinking something simple like a Mario hat.
Aloy.
Well,
or a Link cap or something.
Let me just tell you that I will be there as Mario. So if you want to be Mario, that's fine. But it's going to be one of those who wore it best kind of situations.
Yeah.
All right, Elliot, you're up. You've got to be Link or Princess Peach.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
My wife will be there, Amanda. She'll be there helping me because she's the best thing in my life. And she'll be Luigi. I'll be Mario. And if my daughter comes by, she'll be Princess Peach. So we'll be doing the team thing going on. So.
I cannot wait to see this. This is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Elliot, just don't even try.
My mom's going to be there because she's probably going to be watching my daughter Freya, and she's working on a pretty awesome Wonder Woman costume, actually.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bowser.
I wanted her to be Bowser, but she decided to be Wonder Woman instead, which is fine. So.
Wow, she actually chose Wonder Woman over Bowser. Who would have thought?
Do you guys see the Wonder Woman movie, by the way?
Yes.
What do you guys think?
It was.
Yeah.
I did not, but they did.
Yeah.
I have not seen it yet.
I thought it was pretty good. I've actually been waning on the Marvel movies.
Okay.
I think actually we talked about it in another podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was totally different style, and I don't know. It was just a bit different. I liked the time period. I liked the characters a little more, but I don't know. Again, I'm not a superhero person. I more went to see it because it was a female lead and because it was something different for the Marvel universe,
Cool.
It's DC though.
Oh, DC!
Just to correct you.
I don't know if you guys get
So many emails, so many angry emails.
I don't know if you know, this whole time I was just staring at him and I was just thinking DC, 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 DC.
He was doing a cut the mic.
I was giving Stevo his own rope. I was just like, here, just keep taking the rope. You'll be fine.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I thought it was. My favorite heroes are like the Trinity, so Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and I was just blown away by her movie. I thought it was amazing. So
I've heard really good things. I just have not really found the time to actually go see
Word.
it. Once it comes out on like DVD or something, then I'll go take a look.
I think it is.
yeah, it just came out.
Is it already?
Yeah, it just
okay,
came out.
I'll go check a Redbox or something.
Yeah, last week.
Put your money where your mouth is, Josh.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go to the
See it.
Redbox this week and
Right now, we'll sit here and watch you watch
Word
it.
on the street.
I got to go get it first. So if you just want to sit here, then
Yeah, word on the street that Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, is going to be at next year's Lexicon. So spread the word, okay?
I know I've heard you guys talking about meeting her and you gushing a little bit, and
I did get some sort of inside baseball because I've been trying to find guests to come to this to our event, our Comic-Con. So I'm so happy you guys were able to come. But I did get as far as talking to Lucy Davis, who plays Etta Candy in the movie, the secretary.
Oh, okay.
I did get to talk to her agent. So that's how far I got.
Wow.
And this guy, he's really good at saying no, by the way. So maybe better like next year. So
yeah,
I got.
Oh well, at least you tried.
I did. I got nowhere near Gal, nowhere near her. So
You've got to send her a mean tweet. I saw her on Jimmy Kimmel or whatever it was, reading mean tweets. You got to. Do that.
Oh, you mean like mean as in angry, not mean as in like a sick dope tweet.
Eric doesn't do mean.
Very
I
different.
don't do angry.
He
I think you've confused him with someone else.
I did tweet at her a picture of my daughter dressed as Wonder Woman with a sign on her chest saying, "Please join us for Lexicon," and I got nothing. I got
That's
nothing.
genius. That didn't work.
I tried to, and guys, here's the deal. You can judge me all you want, but my daughter
Judging.
my daughter is hearing loss, and she wears hearing aids. So I even made sure to frame the picture so you can see the hearing aids to get like the. I was trying to get the sympathy vote, and I was really trying to like get in there.
Okay.
And, like,
I broke her leg a little bit. I gave her an Indian burn right before the picture.
Here's the deal.
Eric, does Tess know anything about this? Are you going to be allowed back on the same TV All podcast?
Wait, guys, for the record, my daughter was born with hearing loss, and she has to wear the hearing aids anyway. Like it's a thing she has to do.
Yeah, it wasn't like Eric went home, shoved a needle in his daughter's ear, and said, "Gal, please, my daughter."
They're legitimate hearing aids. They're not fake. I just happened to make sure they were included in the shot. That's all. No big deal.
Yeah. You're being a good dad. You wouldn't have taken them out.
Well, actually,
that would have been barbaric.
All joking aside, yeah, I mean that's very serious because I make sure that like when family take pictures of her, like no one ever goes take those out because it's nothing she should be ashamed of. So yeah, she keeps them in all the time unless she puts them in her mouth and chews on them. Then that's a different situation. So
That's
Oh, poor baby.
yeah, babies. Yeah, she's the best.
So, speaking of babies, Elliot, you started playing Metroid: Samus Returns. It makes sense. That segue makes sense.
Let's try a different segue.
Because of other M. Because of other M, right? The baby.
How about we say to Eric? So, Eric, have you ever played any games not on the toilet?
You can play Metroid on the toilet.
I will tell you right now that I did play a lot of games not on the toilet until I become a dad, and I've been playing Destiny 2. But even like the other day, I sat there and I was like, why can't I play this game on the toilet? Like, you
can go get a Vita. Go get a Vita.
Oh yeah, Vita remote play.
Oh shoot, I forgot about. So the Vita turns everything into a toilet game.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, you're blowing my mind right now. You're blowing my mind. Oh my god, they should. Why don't they put this in the ads for it?
I'm sorry, I'm losing it at toilet game.
Eric, who do you play Destiny with? Who? What's your crew?
Okay, so right now, I've just been playing. I just got Destiny 2 like the other day. I actually, but I don't have a crew yet. I've been mostly playing by myself and randoms, to be perfectly honest. You guys are playing it.
Oh yeah, so Stevo and Elliot are on the fence about buying Destiny 2. You should convince them to buy it.
I like it. Have you guys played the first one?
Yes. We played the first one and kind of fell off it pretty quickly. The idea of doing a job as a game didn't really click with me, you know? Some people like to get in that rhythm and play the same thing every evening, and it's better if you have a crew.
Yeah.
But Josh just like went way out ahead of us, and we didn't have anyone else to play, and, you know, doing pickup runs just wasn't that fun.
Yeah.
But the second one is way better from what we hear.
Yeah.
Josh, you've got a crew, don't you?
I mean, I'm in a clan, but it's like a clan of like 100 people. I only joined the clan just so I could get the rewards each week. I mean, yeah, if they're on, I'll play with them, but it's not like I'm beholden to.
How many people can be on a clan?
100.
Oh, I said hundreds.
No, 100. So
millions.
Like, I mean,
you basically always have people to play with, Josh.
I mean, typically I go online and I talk to like people on NeoGAF or something and say, you know, hey, is anybody doing the raid or anybody doing the Nightfall or something? And then I'll jump in and be like, all right, yeah, we got a crew, let's go. And I mean, to me, they're basically randoms, but because I don't know who they are, but we get on like voice chat and we, you know, walk through it together and things like that. So it's and I think I said this last episode, is one of the nice things that I've noticed about Destiny 2, at least, and actually with Destiny, the first Destiny, was that the community, for the most part, is generally pretty inviting, and they're not a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Have
you found that too, Eric?
Yeah. Well, I haven't gotten to get into the community so much, but at least in 2, I think what it is the game is, like, since it's new and they address a lot of issues in the first one, so far no one has become, like, jaded, like you said, it's a game, but it's become a job kind of situation. And I think in that
they're not
game,
jaded and bitter yet. They're not like angry at you for being a noob because everything's boring anyway. So they might as well focus their attention on you.
I'm the kind of guy in the game. So like when you're playing with people, like if someone's knocked out, you can go and like revive them if you're fast enough. And I'm the kind of guy that I'm naturally a reviver, like in real life. Like I like helping people. So like I'm always like the one jumping in the fire to save people's lives. And I think so far the community has been pretty positive, you know? So
yeah, well, that's like me. We've played Overwatch a few times, and I always play either Mercy or Zenyatta. So I'm usually
the attacking healer, though. Yeah. You do both, Josh.
Because Zenyatta does a good amount of damage, and I still out damage you guys while reviving you. So shut up. So the thing with Destiny, though, is like I've done maybe like 50 or so PvP matches. I think there's only been one instance where someone teabagged me. So like
if that's a pretty measure of a good game, Josh, then I am sold.
That's a pretty good ratio.
That sounds like a
is that the measure of a good game, or is that a measure of how good Josh is at the game? Maybe he just kills everyone and nobody has a chance to teabag him.
Oh no, I still die quite a bit. I mean, I do okay, but I usually have over one. I usually have over a 1.0 ratio as far as kills versus deaths, but I still do die. But like I said, there's only been one time I can think of where I've been teabagged.
How many bags have you steeped yourself, Josh?
How many bags have you teed?
I don't teabag anybody. I just go and start killing the next guy.
When you die, though, isn't there just like a ghost like hovering over that spot? Is there anything to teabag? Like a corpse?
No. So in PvP, like when you're player versus player, not when you're doing the story, you respawn really quickly, like in 3 seconds. So your body's just on the ground there.
Oh, so they only have like a small teabagging window, is what you're telling me.
Yes, the teabag window is a lot smaller.
Gotta be quick.
You gotta get right in there.
You have to be mid squat when you shoot.
You know this is a conversation they had at Bungie, right? Like they're sitting around the guys. We got to close that teabag window. Teabag window's too big. Yeah. Close it up, guys.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had a lot of fun with Destiny 2 so far. I finished the raid.
Oh,
I did it with a bunch of people. And again, the raid was like my favorite. The raids were my favorite part of the original because you have to have teamwork. And it may take hours, which I know is like the problem, but it's also a matter of people learning how to do stuff together.
Yeah.
So I know there's a heavy time investment, but the satisfaction of like everybody coming together to accomplishing a singular goal is just fantastic. The feeling when you're done, you're like, oh my God, thank God, we did it. Yeah. That's amazing.
Eric, do you think you'll ever get there, or are you just playing through the story?
The raid, right? So I have. I don't know. I would like to get to the raid eventually. I don't know. At my rate, though, I don't know when I'm gonna be able to do it. You know, and I need to find a crew to do it with too. But
well, I mean, if you ever do get to the point where you're like at that level, just hit me up on PS4 and we could do it. Cool. It does take some time, but at that, I figure by the time you actually get there, there will be a significant portion of the user base that's actually completed it and can there's less learning.
Because it's not light levels now. What is it? Power levels? What's the power level that you need to be?
I think it's 260 to start.
Yeah, okay.
I think the final boss of it's like 280.
Okay.
So
yeah, my problem has never been like getting the levels, because if I just spend a few hours a day here and there, I'll get there. It's just always finding a crew to do it, So
yeah, and the gaining power levels in Destiny 2 is a lot easier than Destiny 1, where you had to you basically, like, in order to do the raid, you had to get the drops from the raid, which this one does not really happen. That doesn't really happen. So
does it matter if you raid with people who are very far ahead of you? Like Josh, you say you could play with Eric, but does that mean he's gonna die every couple of seconds?
No. So the raid has a specific level. Like raids and strikes and things like that, they have a specific power level for each of the encounters in there.
Oh, okay.
Now I think it starts at 260 and goes up to 280. So like if you join the raid and you're 260, like you'll be okay in the beginning, but you may like run into a little bit. You won't die like instantly, but you'll find that you're doing less damage as you progress. Whereas if you start out at 280, you'll be a lot better. So that's why you have 6 people, though. Even if you're 260, you'll still be able to kill stuff. It just might take slightly longer. It's not impossible.
Well, Eric, we hope you get there someday.
One day. I have like about like my typical day is Freya will go to bed like around 7-ish, and then like I've got about 2 hours before I collapse into bed. And that's typically how it goes. And I've been playing Destiny 2. And my wife and I have been watching Luke Cage on Netflix. So between those two things,
it's a good show.
I'm totally into it. Yeah, we're both loving it. So Danny Rand's a cool dude. So
yeah. So
any other games you've been splitting your time with, Eric?
Who, me? I
or
have
is it all Destiny since it came out?
It's mostly Destiny 2. I was playing Mario plus Rabbids, which I was really digging. Great toilet game.
Play that one.
Yes.
Yeah. It is definitely a good toilet game.
It's a perfect toilet game.
Yeah. It's actually one of those games because I love to switch, because I'll just bring it into bed and I'll play it like for an hour and then just go to sleep. And I don't need to like walk into bed. I'm already in bed, so I'll just shut it off and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I did play have you guys played the demo for what's it called? Project Octopath Traveler on the Switch?
Octopath Traveler?
Yeah.
Have you played it?
I did. Yeah.
What do you think?
I've been meaning to.
So I played as the girl,
Primrose. Yeah.
That's the only one I've done. I haven't done the guy yet. But it's kind of like I haven't played it all yet, and it's kind of slow to get started. There haven't been any battles yet, so there's just been a lot of story.
So for the listeners, Elliot, what is it?
It's an RPG by Square Enix in the style of the old like 16. It kind of looks like a high definition 16-bit.
They call it 2D HD, don't they?
That's what they call it. Yeah.
I buy it. Yeah. It's like it's got like modern lighting. Like it's really well lit. It's really beautiful game. Like it looks like how you would expect like kind of a more immersive like flat 2D game to look. And the music is like your typical JRPG music that you heard back in like Final Fantasy and Secret of Mana and stuff like that back in the 16-bit
really
era.
pretty.
And it's just feels out. And from what I've heard, the battles are turn-based as well. Like
it's really the thing about it. It's really like so there is some like narration, so some voice acting, but a lot of it is text, and it's very like story heavy. Like you said, for the demo, you're probably spending 40 minutes before you get to your first battle. It's a lot of like Primrose she's an exotic dancer and this is going down, and like some people killed her dad, and she became an exotic dancer to like track them down because she knows like what their tattoos look like. But it's a grown-up story though, right, Elliot?
Yeah,
like,
it is
not for kiddos,
And it's not like too cliche either. But I've heard the guy's story is like your typical like kind of cliche story, but the girls is actually pretty interesting, and like you said, it's really dark. Like it gets kind of into this like ugly underbelly of like women.
The beginning part is like she's like this dancer, and none of the girls like her because she's like the most popular dancer, so they already hate her.
Yeah.
But then like the owner, I don't know, like they call him Master. He comes in and he starts slapping this girl around. Like it's like it's intense. And there's like later parts when you get through some battles and you kind of confront this guy, and he says some pretty sexy time stuff to her, and you're like, holy crap. Yeah. It's good though. I'm liking it. It's a good game. So
yeah, I hear that Square Enix are actually like looking for feedback on it and potentially going to change the game, which is a different style of development. And
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing that with Final Fantasy 15, which has already been out for a year and a half. So
Final Fantasy 15, they like made up their losses by turning it into 7 games. Good for them.
Yeah.
But Octopath Traveler, do you think it will improve? Do you think they will cut back a bit on the dialogue, maybe splice it in later on, maybe build up to it? Or do you feel like that is going to be like the theme of it? That's going to be the feeling throughout the whole game?
They'll probably be still the same amount of dialogue. I mean, the games tend to be pretty dialogue heavy in between. I mean, it's also the intro of the game. Dude, you've been playing Persona 4, where it takes like 2 hours to get to your first battle.
True.
So, I mean, it's not like that's a rare thing for RPGs.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
The what were you saying, Elliot?
I was just saying, in general, it is many aspects of how RPGs used to go, like for better or for worse as well. So,
but isn't that for worse? Isn't one of the worst things that you always hear about the old school RPGs that it takes 20 hours to get good?
Like,
what? No, that's like
I don't know. I thought the story was a
like
selling
stuff I heard
point,
from like
right.
I do like it. Like because you don't see too many games like that anymore, and I feel like there's still. I mean, like the Super NES Classic is selling like hotcakes, and it's like 5 or 6 games are the exact same way there. And I think, I don't know, we'll see how it sells, I guess. But I'm really excited to have a game just like that on my Switch. Like
I'll tell you too, is that when you get to the battle system, it's actually kind of clever. So it is turned, and they do that thing where like the character, when you're in like not the overworld, but like the town map, they look like this, like they're tiny. But then when you go into battle, they look all big. It's just basically a pretty, like a really pretty picture. Like they look all big. But the battle system's kind of clever because it's turn-based. But each time you go through a round, like you attack, they attack, you get like a boost point. So like you can spend up to 4 so that you can like, let's say, attack 4 times in a row or heal 4 times in a row. So it's almost like this kind of like you can save them up or stagger the opponent. It's actually kind of clever. And it's just like a tiny tweak to the traditional formula. And it's just enough for me, you know?
So it sounds like a mixture of like Bravely Default versus like a mixture of just a regular type of RPG type thing.
It's by the Bravely Default.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. So it's good. And the Primrose has like a special ability where like she can, I guess they call it charm, but she's really seducing people. She can seduce like any character you meet. Like there's random NPCs, you can seduce them and then they can join your team and they all have like different strengths and stuff. And I was like, this old man, I'm going to make this old man fight with me. And you can make like this kid join you in the thing and she can fight with you. They all have their own special abilities. So that's kind of cool.
That's right. I saw a video that like goes over the various, like, so it's called Octopath because there's like 8 different paths. You could take 8 different character choice. And each one's got like their own little thing they can do in the map or whatever. Like one of them can challenge basically anybody to a fight. Primrose, I guess is her name. She can seduce people to follow her along, and that's how you can go. And basically, they can all do different things, but they can all help. Also, all each action they have will allow you to actually like progress the story. It may not. They may be the same. Like instead of seducing this guy to get past him, you may be able to fight him to get past him. But like they all have their own different things that can progress what you need to do.
What I'm interested in is like when the game comes out, because right now, if you download the demo, you can just choose between Primrose and I think his name is Balthar, the soldier guy. You can choose between one of 2, but there's 8 of them. So I'm interested when the game comes out, like how do you switch between them? Do you choose, or is it the narrative that decides? Like I think that's exciting. I like the idea of because I like shows like Lost and like where you have these big casts and they kind of cross. So I'm kind of excited about that. Like, do you have like 2 people that they meet halfway through the game and then they just go on their merry way? That sounds cool. I'm into that.
Yeah. I get the impression that they'll cross paths at some point, but can you just stop and go back to the main menu and switch and see where the
I would like, or when you go to the main, like when you go to the map, are you going to see like all 80 people like around? I don't know, but that sounds cool to me.
Kind of reminds me of the Romancing Saga game.
Yeah. Octopath Traveler demo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to download that demo. I've been meaning to.
Yeah, it's cool. It's the art style is gorgeous because, like you said, it's I
love that.
What did we call it? 2D HD or whatever.
2D HD.
It looks like to me, it looks like a diorama. Like it's like everything's flat, but then there's like this depth to it. It's super cool. Yeah, it's like a love letter to those old games, in my opinion. So
yeah,
that's really cool. I haven't played any of them through, but Final Fantasy VI is imminent.
Yeah.
As soon as, when is the Super NES Classic arriving? Any day now, and I'm going to get straight on that.
Some people are getting it early. Some people already have it.
Yeah.
No! Really? I gotta check my tracking again because it could be here.
This would be the perfect time for it to show up. Like your door needs the ring right now.
Yeah.
You're like, guys, it's here. It's here, everybody.
Unboxing on the podcast.
Describe
Listen
it to us.
him as he opens the box.
What does it smell like? What does it smell like? Tell us what it smells.
Smells like 20 years ago.
Oh, God. Those are good days, right?
Are you getting the NES Classic, or you have any interest?
I don't really. I like the idea of the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, but I actually still have.
Wait.
Yes,
Start over.
Eric, you're coming on the podcast more often from
What
here
did you
on.
just call
What
it?
did I just
Because
do?
I need someone backing me up.
No.
You did it, Eric.
What did I do?
Eric,
You've done it now.
you were disinvited. What did
SNES
what did
Classic.
you call that item?
NES,
SNES Classic.
NES, and SNES
Yes.
Classic.
SNES.
No!
Yes.
No. It is.
Sorry for clapping into the mic. I apologize to listeners, but yes. Okay. Eric,
Oh, I didn't realize.
you're-
So I didn't realize this is a controversy.
It's a contentious issue.
Oh.
Super NES or SNES?
That's what I've called them since
Or
I was
Super
little,
Nintendo.
since I was a wee lad. As a wee lad. So.
I didn't own one, but that's what my friends who owned them
Okay.
called it.
Okay.
So
Well,
I figured I had to call it whatever they called
well,
it.
like I was saying, I like the idea of them, but I still have my I still have my NES and my SNES. So sorry, I can't quit it. But I still have them, and I have most of those games on the list. So it's like I'm not too pressed for it, you know.
Yeah, I still have my Super Nintendo, but I don't have a lot of those games. I mean, I've played pretty much all except for like 2 or 3 of the games.
Star Fox
that are coming on
2,
the Classic.
Star Fox 2.
Well, yeah, Star Fox 2. Yes, I've not
Yeah.
played that one.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah. Well, I've not beaten Super Goals and Ghosts, but I've touched it. I don't think anybody's actually
Super
beat-
Goals and
I
Ghosts.
refuse
is
to believe
insane,
people actually
man.
have.
Oh my god.
Yeah. How?
Yeah.
Yep. Got nothing.
We're all staring at you like he's gonna say something. He's gonna be amazing.
I thought he
Here
had
it comes.
frozen up for a second. I thought his hangout was dead.
We killed him. We killed Elliot. What happened?
So, Eric, you mentioned to me before the podcast that
Yeah.
you played games with your wife in the sense that you've played Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario World.
Oh,
yeah,
it
yeah.
ties in nicely.
How'd she take to those?
Yeah.
I guess, if you will.
Yeah, she likes it. She basically had like a now I can't stop thinking that it's a SNES now that you
Go
now that
ahead,
I know
it's
a
fine.
thing.
We'll edit it later.
You just kicked me off the cast. But she had a SNES when she was a kid, and it's just like, you know how like using a modern controller with 2 thumbsticks is like an acquired skill.
It
right?
is,
Like,
yeah.
we've spent our lives learning how to do that. And like she played the Super NES, but when she didn't play any of the 64 or anything after that. So like just using a thumbstick is hard work for her. Like she never acquired those skills.
Right.
So we mostly play like Super and older than that, you know? So yeah. But yeah, we played we did play, I don't know if you guys ever played World of Goo. It was like on the
Yeah.
Wii,
Yeah.
and I think it's we did play through that like cooperatively where we both had 2 different Wiimotes. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
You can do it
Um,
cooperatively. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Did it come out on the Switch or is it about to?
I
Or?
think
It is
it's
on
already
Switch.
out on the Switch, actually. Yeah.
You could, if you have it on the Wii, you can play it cooperatively where you both have 2 Wiimotes, which in theory makes the game easier because you have 2 hands to catch goobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it also makes it harder because then you have someone to like yell at when things go wrong. And like near the end, it was getting intense. So, but we did beat it.
It sounds
And we're
like a
still
fun one,
married.
though. And
True
it
test of
sounds
marriage.
like kind of similar to a game that me and Nisha were playing recently, which was Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime.
Oh, yeah.
Have you checked that out yet? It's on PS4. Was it on PS Plus at some point, or has it not been yet?
I don't
think,
think
I
don't have it.
I have.
Otherwise I would.
But you basically take control of a spaceship that moves around a 2D plane, and this spaceship has turrets on the top, on the bottom,
Yep.
on the left and the right, and it has like a shield that you have to activate. But you are a tiny little man on platforms within. Sorry, man or woman on platforms within
Individual.
the spaceship, and you have to run from station to station basically to activate different parts of the ship, to move the shield, or to actually like start the boosters going, or to use the turrets. So it really is co-op madness. It's like shouting at the other person to run to this station and activate this and move around this way, or kill those bad guys. You know, it was we've only spent a couple of hours at it yet, but it was a fun one to go at.
It seems like one of those games that could be a lot of fun, but could also like end friendships.
Yeah.
You're like, because I remember playing Four Swords, Legend of Zelda Four Swords with some friends, and that's a fun game, but man, by the end, we almost wanted to murder each other. You know?
Oh man, I love that game, but I never had 4 people to play it with, and
that's the thing. Luckily, I never played it when it came out because I didn't know 4 friends that had 4 advances and 4 connect cables. Yeah. You know, but as an adult, I was able to track them down, and then luckily over time, I acquired friends.
I imagine Eric knocking on every door in the town, like, "Hello, I'm a grown up now. Would you like to play some Super Nintendo?"
Hello, I'm a grown ass man. Will you play video games with me?
Man, remember that you needed 4 Game Boy Advances, 4 Game Boy Advance cables, a GameCube. That's Nintendo just being like...
That's Crystal Chronicles was the same way.
Yeah.
You had to take turns holding the bucket, remember? Someone always had to hold like the crystal bucket. Oh, God.
Yeah, I could never get people for that. But, yeah, I mean, like... So I one of my fondest memories as a kid was that the only game I could really ever get my parents to play with me was Super Mario Kart.
Yep.
My dad would always pick Toad. My mom would always pick Yoshi. I'd always pick Luigi. And my little brother would always pick... I think he would try and steal Yoshi from my mom before she could pick it. So, and that was like so much fun. But like nowadays, like, I mean, I love my wife. Let me preface that, but she doesn't really play games at all. I can play like You Don't Know Jack with her, like, or the Jackbox games.
Oh yeah.
Because
have you tried getting her to play Mario Kart 8?
We've played a little bit of Mario Kart, but she's like, I'm not good at this. I don't want to play it anymore. It's like
I feel like it passes Eric's test though, because it doesn't require as many buttons. Eric, did you pick it up on the Switch?
I didn't get a chance to, actually. I'm going to try to buy Deluxe because I didn't get to play it on the Wii U when it came out, and it looks great.
Okay, this is going to be amazing because, lads, what is it? Is it 8 maximum? Are we filling up Couple's Cup here?
Oh, yeah.
Should we do this?
Yes, we have to do this. So right now, Elliot, Josh, and myself all have a copy, and we've been talking about getting the Couple's Cup on the go. If you can pick up a copy, we have to do this. We have to stream it.
This would be great.
It'll be amazing.
Yeah, I'll talk to Amanda because I know she's played some Mario Kart too. So it's been a while. I think the last one she actually played was like probably the original, but it probably couldn't be that hard of a sell because it's the buttons, right? Like Destiny 2, there's like 2 million buttons for her, but like Super Mario Kart, she could figure that out, no problems.
Yeah.
So,
this is the only one I've played apart from the original as well. The one that I'll be getting on the SNES Classic when it comes here. Because I never played Mario Kart 64, never played, well, I don't know, you can tell me what the rest of them are, but...
Double Dash.
Double Dash. Diddy Kong Racing, there's all those.
Yeah.
You raised an interesting point, though, Eric, about the analog stick. I wonder if that's kind of the big barrier for... Because, my wife enjoys games, but she doesn't really play them. She likes to, watch me play. We have played Mario Kart a couple times, and she seems to get that enough, but, Overcooked is one that we've played once or twice. I don't know if you guys have played that one.
Yeah.
And
I've heard of it. And I heard that's another could be friendship killer too, right?
It is. It'll murder your friendship.
Cut the damn broccoli.
You're racing against the clock and she's always just like, and the problem is that analog stick, it's like she can't quite maneuver the character the right way. And it's
because you have to use the right stick to actually look at the place that you want to set something down, isn't it? Like if you want to set down a plate, do you have to look? Are you sure it uses 2 analog sticks?
I don't think it uses 2 because
it still uses at least the 1, right?
You can use the half Joy-Con to play.
Oh yeah, that's right. So then why do you think Amy doesn't like it?
Well, she has trouble with the controls.
Just the thumbstick in general. Yeah.
She's just the one thumbstick, and then she's maneuvering around and will like the guy has to be perfectly in front, and then she has to hit the button and she'll be like, he's not doing it. He won't. I'm like, well, you have to line it up just right, and then he'll do it. And I mean, she was enjoying herself. She was having a good time, but that was what was when there was a problem, it was always that tripped her up. And so,
it's a thing. I really think that when Nintendo came out with the Wii, and they simplified their controller, you know? So like, I know with the nunchuck, I had a thumbstick, but really if you didn't play games like at all since the NES, if you looked at the Wiimote, you could look at that and be like, oh, that's a thing I can figure out. There's like 2 buttons on the front, maybe one on the back.
That's so true.
But like, if you've played games your whole life, like we have, you've acquired the skills to be able to play games like Destiny 2 or whatever without even batting an eye. But to someone else, you got to learn. It's like riding a bike, right? Or learning how to ride a motorcycle for the first time. So I think Nintendo's, when they did the Wii, like that was an ingenious move because it just simplified everything. Little old people were like, oh, I can bowl now. And then they sold, they sold 2 billion of them, you know?
Yeah.
So
bypass the thumbstick.
I realized we never got a chance to talk about Metroid Samus Returns. Didn't we segue and then we immediately went this way?
Yeah. We went
A
back
rare game that Elliot actually played? Who would have thought?
I did. Oh, man.
This is our chance to do a good segue then.
All right. Well, speaking of sucking the life out of things, let's move on to Elliot.
Very nice.
Talking about me or
Metroids?
Just Metroids in general.
They do suck.
It's one of their main characteristics.
So I had a weird experience with Metroid growing up in that I didn't play the first one and I didn't play Super, which was one of the greatest games of all time.
Whoa.
But I played Metroid 2 for the Game Boy, and I don't remember it that well, but I'm pretty sure I beat it. So going into Metroid 2, or Metroid Samus Returns, it wasn't familiar is what I mean, because it's like a remake of Metroid 2, but I don't remember. It was years and years ago when I played it, and it's so different already as it is, and the gameplay is very different. You're not just shooting, you can counterattack physically when like enemy comes at you, and there's like a flash, so you have like a visual cue when you have to hit the button, and then it's like instant kill pretty much.
Oh, cool.
It adds an extra element of like, you know, it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, it's an interactivity, but I'm sure it actually makes the game a little easier. Does it?
It does. It's a huge difference because if you try to go through a room without that, like ignoring those cues, you'll be murdered in seconds. But then
whereas the original Game Boy
doable.
game was just kind of janky, and you had to just it wasn't necessarily. I mean, the original game was difficult enough, but a lot of it was the difficulty came from just the controls were shitty because it was on a Game Boy. So you know, aiming and stuff was you always had to be either up, left, right, or down. You know, there was no eight directional. There was no analog directional. So
No. Also, the camera was pulled in like super close to like Samus's character. Like her sprite looked gorgeous on the Game Boy, but it was just like super close, so you only could see like a
third of the screen.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a huge barrier for me when I was younger. You know, so
right now I'm just picturing Metroid on the NES Classic. That's the only one that I played.
Really? Not even.
You played Super Metroid.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, what? Sorry, you're right. I have played Super Metroid for the podcast, and it was absolutely amazing. But it's the one that I played, which sounds a lot more like this because Super Metroid was a perfect game.
Super Metroid is like one of my favorite games of all time. And when I was younger, it was like the first game that ever like had a mood to it. You know, like I was playing it, and like this idea that like when you land on the planet and you're by yourself, like no bad guys are showing up for like the good 5 minutes. Like you're just walking, and there's like little bugs and stuff in the corner, and it was just like chilling. And as like a young kid, this is the first time I ever experienced a game like that. It was amazing, you know? So phenomenal.
Yeah. Did Metroid 2 have an atmosphere like that at the time? Or I'm guessing because it was on the Game Boy, it could never have the same kind of, you know.
So it's similar. It's similar, but yeah, it's because the original Game Boy palette is, you know, it's this varying levels of this greenish gray that you can play with. So I mean,
it's beautiful.
I enjoyed it at the time, and I've beaten the original, but it's not that it's like oppressive or anything, just because it's so hard to imagine it's oppressive. But it's also not like, you know, it's not happy-go-lucky or anything. But it's just kind of like this middle ground. We're like, yeah, I'm Samus, I'm running around and I'm shooting things, and I'm gonna go kill the Mother Queen or the Queen Metroid. Yeah. It's really more a feeling of being lost, because it's kind of like the original Metroid in the sense that there's no map. You basically have to remember where the hell you're going, and there's a lot of just backtracking, and you have to remember everything.
Yeah.
So the format is a little different for Metroid 2, and also therefore for Samus Returns, in that there's much less. It's more linear. So I was going to say there's a bit less backtracking. In what I'm playing right now, I actually also recently played Super Metroid for the first time, only like 3 or 4 years ago. But this one, it's like there's moments where you do backtrack, and you're like, you know, when you're playing Super Metroid, you're stuck, and then you like find something that suddenly you can bomb, and you go through, and it takes you through the next room, and then you're like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to go, and eventually you loop back around to the central area, and it's like it's you're slowly like illuminating this puzzle.
Yeah.
Whereas with Metroid 2 and with Samus Returns, my only thing that I find it like kind of falling slightly short in is there's not as much of that. There's been a few instances where that's happened, and I backtrack, and I'm like, here we go, and it's just like a bomb expansion or a missile expansion, or you know, it's just like an unnecessary item, and I'm still stuck, and I still have to get my way.
Yeah.
Back. So it's just like there's not as much essential backtracking, which is sort of like the spirit of Metroid, and
Or like
it's still an awesome game, but it's just a little more linear.
to me, like Metroid's like one of the big things is like you walked past an area and later you discover that you like there were secrets there, but you didn't even know there were secrets there, right? Like you would you walk by it the first time, and then when you went back with an upgrade or with your X-ray vision or scan or whatever the hell it is, you can go and be like, I just walked by all these secrets. You know, there was a door there I didn't even know. And to me, that's like the magic. I was like, holy crap, you know?
Yeah.
Are you done?
What I'm wondering now, though, is, Eric, have you played Dark Souls? Because I'm just thinking in my head, Elliot has missed out on this thing that he would get such satisfaction out of. Like, Dark Souls.
He wouldn't get any satisfaction. You couldn't get past the first enemy.
It's very hard. It's a hard
I've played Dark Souls and I've played, was it Bloodborne? And they're both, I see the appeal of those games, but they are just like, to me, like if I was a kid and I had like summer vacation to just work on, you know what I mean? If I had no job, I had no baby, I had no obligations, and it's just, to me, it feels like one of those games that you're going to die, get a little bit better, die, get a little bit better, die. And I don't want to be that guy, but I don't have time for that. You know, I got to move on.
Funny you say that, though. When I hear you talking about you have like that 2-hour window of your life every evening, I'm thinking, play Dark Souls.
I guess but the thing is with Destiny 2, like you are incrementally getting better, but like Destiny 2 is such like a power trip. Like I feel like I'm winning. I don't want to feel like I'm losing for 2 hours and then go to bed, you know?
That's a huge contrast.
Yeah, I want to feel like I'm winning and I got better. I don't want to feel like I lost for 2 hours and then I took 2 steps forward in the dungeon, you know? So, yeah.
Elliot, you've played 2 games this week, I heard. Is that just a filthy rumor, or was there anything to that?
He didn't finish anything. Let's just start that first.
Do we want to get into this?
Yeah, by all means. What else have you been playing?
All right. I've been playing Yakuza. Zero. It's like a long running Sega series. It started in the PS2 days with Yakuza 1 and 2. It's gone all the way up to 6, I think now, which is on the PS4, and then they did a prequel, which technically starts off the series. So I guess as the series has gone on, you know, they've kind of tweaked and retconned a few things, as you kind of do when the technology gets better, and as you go, because it's been running for so long. So they went and they did a prequel that kind of incorporates that timeline that they've set up. So it changes a few things, and they're like, this is where you should start. And they've also, since 0 has come out, have remade 1, the first game, for PS4, and they're going to remake the second one as well to kind of.
But what is it though?
To kind of like smooth out the timeline. So it's like a like a brawler, right? So it's like
Fighting Force, like Streets of Rage.
Yes.
By the way, Fighting Force.
That's what I'm thinking of.
God, who the hell brings up Fighting Force?
Oh my gosh!
I bought it
on
PS1 Classic, on PS3. Never played it. Sorry, Elliot. Go on.
No. I've actually played that one, and that's pretty close. So it's you are this guy named Kiryu, and you're a member of the Japanese mafia, and
Yakuza.
The Yakuza, as we know, and it's basically like it acts and plays kind of like an open world game when you're running around the city, but it's very locked off. Like the areas aren't interconnected. You like hop in the cab and then you get to the next area, kind of thing.
Cool.
But while you're in your bubble, you're pretty much, it feels like pretty open world. there's random encounters. You'll come across thugs just trying to like pick a fight with you.
Yeah.
And it plays like a fighting game. Like you have attacks, you have different stances. There's one stance where you pick up everything that's near you, including like couches and trash cans, and you just like wheel, swing them around like weapons. And that
sounds great.
Just so satisfying. Yeah,
it sounds a little like Sleeping Dogs, actually.
A little bit, yeah. Sleeping Dogs is a bit more open world, less brawler, and this is more brawler.
I've heard the series is actually pretty goofy.
It's over the top, and the characters are over the top and over dramatic. It's like the stories are good, and you get really drawn into it, but it also like it knows what it is. You know, it doesn't take itself too seriously.
That's cool.
It's self-aware. Yeah, like it's not all one big joke. It's a series with a story, but then you can kind of be like, you know, like that was so there's one scene when you're with your best friend who's also in the Yakuza, and you're just walking down the street, and then like a couple of drunk guys are pushing each other around, and they bump into you, and your buddy's like, let's just go this way, fuck them, we're going the other way anyway. And then your guy is just like not having it. He can't take it. He's like, no man, like they stepped on my shoes. I can't. And he's like, they're just drunk. Like, let's just go. He's like, no, I need to sober them up with my fists. It was just like, yes. It was so good.
You said that I'd really enjoy it, Elliot. Is it suitably ridiculous? Like,
yeah, it's like.
I mean, you both have terrible senses of humor, so yeah, I mean, you're probably fine.
But you know, my issue with the GTA games is always there's too much to do, and it's too spread out, and it's like, is this different, Elliot, or is it not? Is it an open world?
So there is a lot to do. There's tons of like side stories and vignettes.
I can avoid mini games though. I've heard there's lots of mini games and like silly things in this, but
like a go-karting. Did I hear that right? Is there go-karting in this game?
And stuff? Is it? Or karaoke?
Yeah.
Is karaoke one of them?
There's a karaoke one, which I did earlier in the game.
Do not tell my wife.
So I just started this new section where you're playing as a different character actually, and I was just trying to get to a save point, running down the street, and every like 2 steps I take, someone on the side of the street would be like, hey, help me with this, and be like, side quest. You don't have to take it. You could be like, sorry, I'll go. But I just kept doing them, so it must have been like 45 minutes.
Are they worth it? Are they unique stories? Are they unique characters? Are they like engrossing in the way that always is going to be the bar? Witcher 3, you know, is it like that world, or is it like the funnier, more surface level, and really you wouldn't mind skipping them?
They're more surface level. They don't seem to add too much to the story yet, but they're interesting enough. And like, it's a very Japanese game. Like the audio is all in Japanese with English subtitles, and it's weird. It's got like a lot of Japanese weird quirks that culturally that people come to love about like Japanese stuff. Like, oh man, there's a scene when you're in a club and you're kind of scanning all the people in the area because you're looking for someone, and you pass by this guy who's in the very far corner. You don't see him at first until the camera catches him and zooms in, and he's wearing only his underwear, and he's just swinging his hips around. Like, and it's one of these like really fancy clubs, and he's just like, what the hell? What's up with this guy? He's had too much to drink, and he just keeps scanning the room. Like,
is that the one image? Did you tweet that out?
I did.
Yeah, I saw that image,
and
I was like, "What am I looking at? Why am I looking at this guy?" Just no big deal. I was like, man. Okay, now I have context.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's better without context.
The overall story is really good though. Like it revolves around a fight over a plot of land, which sounds like a really small, dumb, boring thing, but it just like expands from that, and you see all these players that are involved, and everyone's an amazing character in their own right.
Yeah.
And it's just like gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And you're like, why is you're kind of semi-framed for an incident that takes place on this plot of land that's like hotly contested between the Yakuza and these like land developers and a whole bunch of other people that keep coming into it. And it's just like a shitty piece of land, but it means so much in this world, and they do such a great job building it up. And that's all it's about. but you're so invested in this fucking
This
plot of
sounds
land.
cool, actually.
It
Yeah,
sounds cool.
you're
It's
convincing
really
me.
cool.
I know.
I'm-
Do you
I'm
work?
seriously,
Do you
I'm-
work for this
I'm
company?
thinking
What's
about this.
going on here? That's a great.
I guess the only other question I have about it is, does this mean you're not going to play any backlog roulette games ever again?
No, I'm gonna have Spec Ops done for the next episode.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Maybe.
I'm
Josh,
sure.
what have you got on your radar? Anything else you're going to get at between now and then?
I mean, I've still got Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, that I've got to actually pull out my PS3 and start playing.
What about you, Eric?
Right.
Anything else on your radar, or just a little more Destiny?
Mostly, it's going to be Destiny 2 for me up until Mario Odyssey. That's what I'm like super looking forward to. I'm a huge Mario fan, and Mario Odyssey looks like kind of like a return to like. Well, even though I did like what was the one on the Wii U? It was Super Mario Brothers 3D Land,
Yep.
3D World.
Oh,
I think
3D
it was,
World.
3D
and
World,
I like
yeah.
that a lot. I thought that was great, but I like returning to like that kind of more open world feel. And
Yeah,
I'm so
I
excited
agree.
about it, man. It looks great. It looks like one of those games that I'll just kind of pour a bunch of time into, and I can
Yeah,
play it on the old shitter if I need to. Honey, are you okay? You've been in there for hours. I'm collecting moons, darling. I'm collecting moons.
I think we've all got to pre-order it on the Switch as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
next podcast we'll do is from the bathroom. We'll all be playing that and chatting.
Just do a bathroom cast. Yeah,
Is
that's a
everybody
good
else,
idea.
everybody else hear an echo?
Yeah,
Do I hear an
yeah,
echo with
that's
everybody
good.
else?
Yeah. But yeah, that's the next game on my radar. I'll probably just plug away at Destiny 2 until that comes out next month. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, hit me up on PS4. We'll play some. I can play some Destiny with you.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. What class do you play as, Josh?
All three.
Oh, do you do? Oh, oh, okay. I didn't know if you had a preference. Like if you're going into like the.
I like Hunter more than the other two, but I play them all. So.
Okay, cool.
Kind of sounds like Josh does not need to rather be playing anything.
I know. It kind of sounds like
He's just playing.
He's just playing.
He's just playing.
Yeah, that's another guy. I really liked, real quick for Destiny 2, I was surprised at how like I should have seen this coming, but how it starts off with you having your gear, or at least like high stuff, and then they Metroid you down, like they take your stuff away. I thought that was like
that was kind of like that was kind of their explanation, because you can kind of you can import your character from the first game, but it's basically just cosmetic.
Yeah.
It's the same way your character looks, because you lose everything at the very beginning.
yeah.
So
And normally I find that kind of not annoying, but I understand why it exists. But for some reason in Destiny 2, I thought it was like really. Like almost, this doesn't sound really cheesy, but almost like a powerful experience. Like I spent hours with this character, and I know it's just cosmetic, but this idea that you were a legend, right? That's the first game, and now you have to run from dogs. You know, I mean, it's like I don't know. I was kind of like emotionally attached to my character, and I thought it was a great beginning. You know, so
yeah, the story is a lot better this time.
Yeah.
A lot better.
I like Lance Reddick as the voice of Zavala. I think he's amazing. Guardian,
yeah.
Guardian. Where's the light?
And who can hate Nathan Fillion?
I know, right? So good game. I like it.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot Lance Reddick is in that.
Yeah. I remember him mostly from, I don't know if you guys ever watched Fringe. He was like one of the characters in Fringe.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched The Wire.
Oh, did you? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Wire as well.
That's the one that matters.
Oh, I've never watched The Wire. I've just watched Fringe. What?
You've never watched The Wire?
I watched
Okay,
The Wire.
I'm sorry. I'm rescinding this invite.
Hey!
Delete.
Ness, buddy. Ness. I've never watched The Wire before.
Okay.
No.
I'm okay again.
That's how I calm you down. Ness. Yeah. Do you guys know Lance Reddick actually has a music album that's out that he sang? It's him singing songs to music. I know. I see your faces right now. I swear
Is
to
it good?
I swear to God. So back when I was back when Fringe was on, and I was like 1,000% into it, like looking up the actors and all that. Yeah, are you looking it up right now? He has an album, and it's if you picture Lance Reddick, so he's like this handsome African American tall bald man, and just picture him wearing like a sweater vest and or it's like a sweater turtleneck, and it's like him doing like it's almost like light jazzy songs. He's got a beautiful singing voice, so just throwing it
I
out
believe
there.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He does have a discography.
Thank you very much.
And 2007, Contemplations and Remembrances.
There it is. It's very like kind of like smooth jazz, kind of like.
I like jazz. I may have to check it out.
Maybe I'll pipe some in.
I want to walk into your eyes, into your skin and bones and sighs and screams. I want to walk into the throne of your thoughts and dreams. Please unlock the door, let me walk once more
if Lance Reddick is listening, we would love to have you on Rather Be Playing, guys.
We would.
Oh my god!
I bet he is a gamer too.
Probably. I don't know.
I have that feeling.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's pretty busy, and he would rather be playing.
You know what they should do
Could be,
is
yeah.
do a celebrity version of Rather Be Playing. Because I'm sure celebrities are really busy, right? That's not a bad idea. Yeah. They're
We're gonna have to start sending out emails.
Yeah. Tell them they can borrow the rights to Rather Be Playing for a small fee.
There you go.
I like where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we call that a podcast?
Do we do it?
We're going
That's a cast, lads. It's been
That it?
fun.
Guys, we did it, guys.
Wow, that just flew by.
Yeah, that went by fast.
Wow.
And I love too that there's just so much love in the room. We're loving Metroid, we're loving Yakuza, we're loving Destiny 2, just love left and right. This is amazing.
We're very happy when we do get to play games. And we played quite a bit
It's
of
almost
them.
like there's a correlation between how happy we are and how many games we get to play.
Elliot.
All right. So we will catch you guys 2 weeks from now, which will be after Lexicons.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys will be able
Certainly
to
will.
talk about how that went, you know?
Yeah. And so, wait, is your podcast airing next week?
Yeah, when's yours come out?
Our next one, so let me think.
Because yours is also every 2 weeks, right?
Our next episode will air this Friday. So in 2 days.
Okay.
So we will, the one after Lexicon, we'll be able to discuss it. So we've already recorded one that hasn't aired yet. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So catch Rather Be Playing. What are we?
Okay.
Catch Rather Be Playing in 2 weeks and catch Same Team Y'all as well. 2 weeks from now.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, like I said, usually when I try to talk games with Tess, she just stares at me like I'm an alien, and then I'll
She's
be like,
can we go back to beer
or H.P. Lovecraft or something
Lovecraft.
like that.
Yeah, she's been on a
Books is
Lovecraft
what I was
kick
thinking.
lately.
She is. When there's a chill in the air, she likes to read
I know.
Lovecraft. So
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, no, so everybody will be at Lexicon on October 7th from 12 to 4 p.m.
You've got
That's
it.
in Lexington Park, Maryland Public Library, right?
yeah, you've got it. Yeah, you guys will have tables. So I heard you guys have beautiful buttons that will be there.
We do have
so
beautiful buttons.
I'm looking forward to we'll have to do button trades. We'll have to trade buttons and trade cards,
We
right?
will. Yeah, there you go.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing to do. So
Flare. Get the flare on.
Yeah.
Until then, you can find us at ratherbecast.com or at RBPcast, our Twitter. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, anywhere you want to find your podcasts. Check out our game streams on twitch.tv and YouTube as well.
And this is where I jump in and say rate and review.
Yeah,
you
please
know?
like and
If
subscribe.
you
Rate,
liked
review, and
us,
subscribe, please. Tell your friends, tell everyone.
Yeah. Rate with your heart,
Please.
but everyone prefers 5 stars. So
I thought that was going to be a comma. Rate with your heart, comma, but, comma.
I should tell you too.
shoulder, your right shin.
And if anyone's listening that hasn't gone to your website, is it ratherbeplaying.com, right?
Rather be cast.
Rather be cast. Thank you. It's a beautiful website. It's gorgeous. I got to tell you guys right now. Yeah. I'm being
Elliot
honest.
has mad skills.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Awesome.
So it's a beautiful cast. And just while we're plugging stuff, our website is called sameteamyall.com. It is a slightly less beautiful website. So, but I'm working on it.
It's still
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
It's still beautiful.
Yeah,
And you guys
It's
are
got
on.
you and Tess's beautiful faces on.
yeah, I don't know if did you notice I sent you a picture of our cards? I even managed to put our faces on our business cards.
I know. I saw that. It's you two looking goofy as all
I know.
hell, smiling at the
Talk
camera.
about an egomaniac. Hi, have you seen my cast before? Here's a picture of my face.
It's branding.
Yeah,
That's good.
so-
Good.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Those things are going to get snapped up in seconds.
and then I just find them in the garbage later, or with pins in them in the eyes.
You have to
Okay.
tell yourself, same team, y'all, same team, y'all, same team.
Every morning.
Don't forget, we're on the same team.
All right, guys. I want to thank Eric for being on the cast with us today. Thank you for coming, Eric.
very
and,
welcome.
We will definitely have you on in the future. But in the meantime, everybody listening, take care.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
Eric.
Cheers.
Good luck now.
Thanks.